And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon, my fellow futures family and friends. It's time for the market recap, Tuesday, October the 18th. I'm John Oglen. Thanks for trusting me with your time. Interesting trading day all around. Some pretty decent opportunities, especially when it comes to the S&Ps. The E-mini S&Ps traded within 3 ticks of weekly kickoff high. We were in make hog money, didn't catch the trade. We were looking for shorts, looking for longs. That's all right. We'll catch the next one. I got Lacey here with me. Lacey says hello, everybody. She is currently fresh off the forbidden couch. I think she needs to go outside, but she'll wait just a few minutes so we can finish the recap here. Don't forget, tomorrow is October 19th. It's the anniversary of the 87 crash. Hopefully nothing like that happens tomorrow. U.S. stocks held gains today, but well off session highs, unfortunately. The S&Ps up about 38 points, again, unofficially, about 1% higher. Nasdaq up 73 points, about 0.7% higher. And the Dow futures closed up approximately up 335 points at 1.1%. We got our first look at the first of 3 housing numbers this week, and unfortunately it was bad news. May have something to do with how our equities responded today at the failure of some important inflection levels. Lacey's moosing me. She wants me to keep petting her, so I will keep petting her. It's amazing living with something that can eat you. So the National Association of Home Builders, they were expecting a 43 on the number. The actual came out at 38. Just for reference, anything under 50 is contraction. So that is a negative outlook. Now we're still looking for more numbers. Tomorrow we have the housing starts and permits. And then Thursday, existing home sales. So if those numbers continue to show contraction, we may have some difficulties as far as some of our other markets here. Crude prices fell 3% on talks of more strategic petroleum reserves releases. And we're currently waiting for the Netflix earnings to come out. I'm not sure if they are out here just yet. Lacey, she is just a moose. Let's see. Yep, they are out and they beat expectations. First time in 3 months that they've been able to do that. It'd be interesting to find out what some of the thoughts are in and around behind those numbers. There goes my guitar. That's all right. It's a beater. Thanks, Lace. All right. So, anyways, where was I? It's good to see everybody, as always. Thanks again for joining me for Make Hogue Money today. We ended up basically scratch. We made a little bit, but that's the game, and we'll see what we can do on Thursday. Don't forget, next week we got 4 sessions of Make Hogue Money. We've got 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. Monday and Wednesday, we'll be doing 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, trying to catch the closes, and the usual Tuesday and Thursdays, catching the opens for the E-mini S&Ps. We're going to hit a really good one of these days. I just know it. As always, make sure, take the time to hit the lucky like button if you like what you see. Make sure you comment, question, feedback. Heckle it will. Love is always welcome here on the forecast recap and everything. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get notifications when we do go live. And we're looking forward to seeing what we've got in the charts here. I haven't looked at this day in history or anything, so it's going to be a surprise for all of us to see what happened on this day in history and this day in music. Speaking of music, I was listening a little while ago to some tunes, some pieces that I learned on guitar that were actually stride piano pieces, some Fats Waller and some Snowy Morning Blues, and it really got me itching to get back to playing a little bit. So that's going to probably be one of my designed distractions again. I haven't been playing much lately and lost the pads on my fingers. Now Lacey just killed my guitar, so we'll see how that works out later on. Anyways, as far as crude is concerned, yeah, the SPR talks push prices lower ahead of the API this afternoon and the EIA tomorrow. Both of them are expecting approximately a 1.5 million barrel boost in crude stocks here in the U.S. E-mini S&Ps fails to press above weekly kickoff high, and probably helped a little bit to the downside off of that housing data. Nasdaq fails. Comes back down below last week's high and finds resistance there for the rest of the session. You'll find that interesting on the 30-minute chart. The gold range-bound continues to contract, stayed inside those trend lines that are basically at the apex. There's going to be some sort of change tomorrow, whether it's a substantial move or just moving outside of that pennant through attrition. One or the other is going to happen tomorrow. The euro, as the dollar steadies, so does the euro, just range-bound trade in the euro. The 10-year value remains constant. We had a lower kind of overall range, but the overall range-bound activity does remain. And in the natural gas, we finally got another good step towards the completion of the measured move off of the head and shoulders that we've been watching and waiting for. I don't trade the natural gas, but it's always kind of neat when a measured move actually plays out. It'd be better if we made money on it, but again, I can't trade the natural gas at one of those markets that gives me heart palpitations. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at these charts in just a hot second, just trying to remember if there's anything else I want to tell you guys. George, good afternoon. And you just saw Lacey moosing me for pets. She's now sitting and, well, sleeping or laying on my feet as we speak. So I know she's getting ready to go out. Frederico, $22 is $22. Better than red, 100%. 100%. Vince, Taco Tuesday. See, now you got me thinking about dinner already. It's just after 3 here in Central. Tacos do sound good. You know what I like to do is I like to get some mahi-mahi and put a little blackening season on the mahi-mahi and saute it and put it on a taco with some cilantro, maybe little onions. It's always one of my faves. All right, and Tachyon here. Tachyon up 2.6 for practice. Only 2 trades, loser and a winner after that. Didn't see any good entries. Was sitting in my hands and watching. V-Up was accidentally up $9,000 today on step 2. I had to try and lose 5,400 to not go over the daily best day. Yeah, well, I know that consistency target is sometimes a point of contention, but you know, when you think about it, if you were just lucky enough to put on a big position and reach your profit target in one day, it doesn't let us know that you are working as a capable and consistent and profitable trader. That's why that's there. I'm sorry that happened. V-Up. Candle Guy, Sam Candle Guy, howdy, Adam. My email, jhoagland at topstep.com, JHOAGLAND at topstep.com. Yes, the cilantro is the magic. My guy Vince, I knew my guy from the East Coast was going to know. Got to have that fresh cilantro on there. Some good sweet onions, too. You got me thinking, Vince. You got me thinking real hard. I know I've got some nice mahi-mahi. Hey, Bron. Why wouldn't you want to lose? I don't get it. Why would you? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. What if I consistently go over the best day? Fantastic. Yeah. If you can do that, as far as I know. Yeah, I know. 9K is 9K. But Bron, if you think about it, if I didn't know what I was doing and I put a 15 lot on in the S&Ps today, right at the high, and I made $9,000 on that today, it doesn't say that I even had a plan to do that. Sometimes you can just get lucky, and that's the idea behind the consistency score. Is we want to see consistency. If you're just going to take a pot shot and get funded, odds are you're not going to do very well. So Bron, if you're not familiar with the rules at Top Step, you can't have a day that's greater than half of the profit target. If you do that, then the profit target expands a little bit more. So what we're looking for is consistency and profitability, not luck. Yeah, that's what we're hoping you're going to do once you prove consistency and you're backed. Of course, we want you to stay in winning trades. Of course, I know it's a point of contention, but we have to be able to distinguish whether that big day was luck or whether it's something you're going to be able to do with some sort of consistency. Hope that helps. All right, let's check out the charts. We'll start with the daily and crude for a change here. All right. Roll over. A little directional activity to the downside here. Some news about release from the Strategic Petroleum Preserve. Questions on the economic front for demand for crude oil, all kind of pushing price lower. As we had a big push to the upside when we discovered that OPEC was going to be cutting production. Hasn't necessarily proved to be that big a deal. Here's the 30-minute chart. Opening, opening in range, but outside of value. We started to push to the downside really relatively quickly. Now we've been kind of looking at this as a potential bull flag, and we really tested down to the low of that flag today. I believe our settlement price is above that price. I think we're right around here, 82.11-ish. For settlement. So we didn't close below this trend line. Still may be impactful and useful for us tomorrow. In the S&Ps, we've got a move and pretty much a range or a zone test of weekly kickoff high. 37.78 was weekly kickoff high. We got within 3 ticks of it. And then the market kind of started coming off. It didn't seem very aggressive at first, but we did actually come down and close the gap we were talking about this morning. Remember this morning we were talking about islands. We had an island low here. We had an island top here. We had an island low here, but we did come down and close the gap to the range from yesterday before returning back to range-bound trade. So we still closed higher. The value is higher. Range is overlapping to mostly higher. Things are still looking pretty good to the upside. Just needed a bit of a pullback. as we might have expected, because when we look at the S&Ps since Sunday night when they opened down here, it's been pretty much a straight shot to the upside. Major inflection level found just enough for us to not be able to push through it, and pulling back to come and close the gap, and then returning to some range-bound activity here. Be another interesting day tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, and don't forget what day it is. October the 19th. I'm sure nothing like that is going to happen. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's highly unlikely that something like that is going to happen. Nasdaq, I've got something goofy here. Today is Tuesday. Here's last week's low. 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's last week's high. There it is. So we continue to try and push higher. We've got more space to go to get to the weekly kickoff high in the Nasdaq than we do in the S&Ps. Why? The Nasdaq has been presenting as weaker. Here is last week's high. Start on Sunday. Getting long, getting too long. Coming back down below last week's high. Yeah, now we've busted out back above it and after the close here. So going to be another interesting day. I was really hoping that we were going to leave that island low and see some pretty substantial upside moves. But unfortunately, we're not in that environment right now. We got to wait and see what goes on with our housing. All right, let's go look at gold now. Look at this market. Just stuck. I was talking to somebody today. I said it looks like a piece of rice between two chopsticks. It's just stuck. Here's the 30. Just want to get them in the right spots. So we're looking for the market to really kind of break out of this pattern at some point. And if it doesn't happen tonight, at some point tomorrow, it's either going to happen again through attrition or through some sort of move. Something might have to happen to make this market move. Euro on the 30-minute chart, just not a lot of anything. Dollar settled down today, so barely traded above the overnight high, didn't trade to the overnight low. Just a very range-bound day in the euro. 10-year, still holding the line. Not a lot of continuation to the downside. Volume wasn't bad today, but it's still pretty miserable. We can't even get a decent move outside of a coiling move like this. Really just kind of falling into balance now. I'm probably just going to take these off. And check out net gas. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Distance from the head to the neckline. Neckline down. That's your target for the measured move. Got a lot closer to it today. Makes me wish I could trade this market, but I just can't. It's a bit of a buzzsaw sometimes. So anyway, that's the markets that we looked at this morning, looked at today. We're getting ready for the session tomorrow. Let's see here. Again, tomorrow, mortgage applications at 7 a.m. Eastern. That's 6 a.m. Central, right about the time I sit down to do my homework. Housing starts and permits tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. EIA Petroleum Status Report tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Of course, that's Central Time. We have Kashkari speaking tomorrow at noon, and Beige Book comes out at 1 o'clock. Beige Book just indicates that we've got 2 weeks to the FOMC meeting. We got jobless claims, Philly Fed, existing home sales, misleading indicators, and nat gas on Thursday. And that really rounds up the economic numbers that we're looking at this week. Zac Efron's birthday is today. I didn't even know he was a singer, but apparently he was in High School Musical. Gary Richrath from REO Speedwagon, today's his birthday. Unfortunately, he passed in 2015. Keith Knudsen, 1952, today is his birthday. He's the drummer for the Doobie Brothers. I don't know if you knew this, but they broke up. And what happened on this day in history? Hope it's nothing scary. We try and keep this positive. On October 18th, 1867, the U.S. formally takes possession of Alaska after purchasing the territory from Russia for $7.2 million. I think we got it. I think that was a bargain. Thomas Edison died today in 1931. I remember this. 1977, Reggie Jackson, a.k.a. Mr. October, on October 18th, 1977, the sixth game of the World Series, Reggie Jackson hits 3 homers with 3 swings. I remember watching that with my dad. Crazy. The show Roseanne debuted today in 1988. Shocker. John Lennon and Yoko Ono in 1968 were arrested for drug possession today. And that's about it. I hope you found that fun. So that's going to be it. Get some rest, man. Be ready for tomorrow morning. I'll see you for the market forecast. And don't forget, if there's something we're missing, something I'm missing, something you want to see, something you want to talk about on the forecast, send me an email, jhoagland@topstep.com, and let's talk about it. We're looking forward to your success. We're going to do everything we can to help you create it. So get some rest tonight. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Say a prayer for peace, and I'll see you tomorrow morning on the forecast at 7:45. Blessings, and I will see you then.